It is easy to buy hot sauce, but it is fun and delicious to make your own. Today, I'm going to be making a very simple jalapeno hot sauce. Now, there's many different methods for making hot sauce. Some of them are fermented, where you actually kind of mash everything up and let it sit on the counter for, 2, 3, 4 days to sort of ferment and build flavor. We're not doing that. This is a sauce that you make, bottle, or put in a jar, put in the refrigerator. And I've found that it's good for, 3 weeks. So I don't make a ton of this hot sauce, but man, it is good. First thing we have to do is roast up some of our ingredients. We're doing that in the oven today. You could do it out on the grill if you want. We're starting with about a pound of jalapenos. Got a medium onion that's been quartered and peeled. And we're gonna do about 10 tomatillos. If you've never used or seen a tomatillo, this is a tomatillo. It looks like a little green tomato, but it doesn't look like this when you buy it usually. It looks like this. It's wrapped in paper. And so what you do, you take the paper off, just like that, and we're ready to go. Now let's transfer these to a baking sheet. Now I'm leaving the stems on the jalapenos, and there's a reason for that. You'll see in a little bit after these are roasted. We don't need to add any oil, any salt, any seasoning at this point. We're just going to pop this into an oven that is preheated to 350 degrees. And we're going to let it go for about 45 minutes. I'll see you back here in 45 minutes. So here we have our roasted peppers and onions and tomatillos. Now I mentioned there was a reason to leave the stems on the jalapenos, and let me show you why. So make sure you have good gloves here. This is still really hot. What you're going to want to be able to do is kind of take hold of that stem, and we're going to cut the end off here. Just like that. Now, one of the reasons to do this at the end and not before you roast these is if you have that completely open, you're going to get a lot of those capsaicin fumes out of there, that really sort of eye-watering aroma, and we want to keep that in there. Point of roasting these is twofold. One is to soften them a bit, and the other is to help develop flavor. You got a little bit of charring here. Last one here. All right, let's get our blender out here and the rest of our ingredients so we can make this hot sauce. So I have my blender out here, and I've already added a 1.5 cups of water. We're gonna go ahead and get our peppers and all our other good stuff in here. It's gonna be a little full, so you can do it in batches if you need to, just by having the amount of water and just using half of these other ingredients at the time. The other thing you can do is blend a little bit first and then add everything as it blends down, because it will start to lose volume here once it starts getting chopped up. In fact, that's probably what we're going to end up doing. We're not going to add all our other liquid here first. Let's go ahead and break this down, and then we'll add the rest. Ooh, that smells good already. I'm also going to add a cup of cilantro that's just been roughly chopped. Now, if you don't like cilantro, leave it out, or you could add the equivalent amount of, say, parsley. Also adding 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a teaspoon of cumin, and 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and 1 1/3 cups of distilled white vinegar. Let's puree this. Let's go ahead and get a little taste of this. Ooh, that's good flavor, doesn't need any more salt, has a nice little kick to it. Now, if you wanted to, say, bring the heat level down in here but still have that jalapeno flavor, What you could do is add, say, a red bell pepper to the mix. So you could have roasted a red bell pepper in there, taken the seeds out and everything, and had that go in here. That kind of adds a sweetness to this. It will change the color a little bit. You might trend more towards a kind of a greeny orange color, but right now this is tasting fantastic. If you want to, you could strain this if you don't want any of the seeds in there. I like the more of the rustic sauce like this, so I'm not going to strain it, but we are going to transfer it to a bowl and let it cool down for maybe 20 minutes before we bottle it. I want to give this one more taste just to be absolutely sure we don't have to do anything else to it. Tomatillos bring such a nice additional flavor to a sauce like this, to a hot sauce. I love it. All right, this is going to cool for about 20 minutes, then we will bottle this. All right, now I'm going to fill 4 of these bottles here. The rest is going to go into a mason jar or 2. These have been sterilized in boiling water. Really just choose the way you want to sterilize your bottles. It's really important to make sure everything is really clean before you go ahead and fill these. You don't want to introduce bacteria. We're not doing anything to preserve this. It's going in the refrigerator, so you want it really clean. Everything that's going to touch the hot sauce you want clean. You want to have it go through boiling water, everything from the ladle to the funnel I'm using and this. Because this is a chunky sauce, it'll take a little bit to get through this funnel. I'm not going to seal this yet. I'm going to set it aside and keep filling. You don't want this to be cold, cold, cold when you put it into a hot bottle. This has just been cooling, like I said, for about 15-20 minutes. Let my board down a bit. There we go, our jalapeno hot sauce. And I gotta say, I almost want to say jalapeno tomatillo hot sauce because that tomatillo flavor in here is fantastic. This is going to get sealed up in a few minutes. It's going to go in the refrigerator. And like I said, I've had this last, 3-4 weeks, but usually it's gone before then. And the rest of it that I'm going to put in a jar, I think I may actually repurpose that with some additional ingredients and make an enchilada sauce with it. So a lot of great things you can do with this, but for me, these bottles are the hot sauce that's going to go on tacos, burritos, nachos, things like that. I just love this stuff. No need to taste it and take a swig. We tasted it before. It's fantastic. Hope you make some and hope you enjoy.